What's up, guys? I'm on my fourth beer right now. I'm drinking this thing called Blue Paddle. It's backwards. Whatever. You guys get it. It's beer, and it's an IPA because I like bitterness for some reason. So yeah, this is my recap video. Let's think. The last video I made was about this company that I joined called Lionbridge, which was cool in the beginning because I was only working maybe 10 hours a week, and it was all from home, which my parents really didn't like. I told them that I was working 20 hours and that I was making, so you're able to work up to 20 hours. So the maximum amount of pay you can get from working at Lionbridge, from an in-home position, is when working 20 hours per week at $14 an hour is about $800. I told them I was making $800 a month. In reality, I was making $400 a month because, I mean, living with my parents is just so stressful. It was just very difficult for me to work. And I mean, I just really needed time to just figure out myself and just go inside my head and do other stuff that I felt, just gave me vitality, like learning how to dribble with a soccer ball, and also learning things like how to trade stock. And so, yeah, so after I think maybe 4 months of that, I forget. So it was I started in November, and then I quit that shit in about 4 months after that. And then in April, I started working for this construction company. And I really liked it at first. I thought the work was pretty cool. For the first week, all I did was just sweeping up, what was it, some kind of dust, sheetrock dust. I was mostly sweeping up sheetrock dust. And that kind of worked. I can really get around because while I'm doing it, just physical or manual labor, I'm not thinking. And it really helps a lot, just dealing with me and how my mind works. Just doing physical things is very beneficial to me. So in the beginning it was all right, but then my boss started being a real asshole to me, just out of nowhere, and he just kept on making fun of me, and I started noticing that other coworkers were doing it too, and so it just became another hellhole to deal with, where all these people would just talk shit on me to my face and behind my back. So I did that for like 2 months before I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it anymore. I just can't, because it didn't matter that I was doing physical labor at that point, because when I'm living in an environment where people are obviously judging me on a regular basis, it fucks with my head too much, and it's just very painful. So yeah, after 2 months of construction, I told my parents that I was still working construction, and so I still kept getting up at like, I forget, maybe like 6 or something around there, 6 in the morning. And so I would get up to go and put on all my gear, get my tool belt, and put on that show, and they would ask me how was work going. I'd be like, oh, it's all right, we did blah 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 today, blah blah blah, and I would mostly take the time to focus on my website, Boxing Buddy. I forget if that was what I was actually doing at the time. I think it was. I mean, but in reality, I wasn't doing it a lot. A lot of what I was doing was going to the gym every day for about 4 hours and just learning all these different skills. Like, I was just playing basketball, or dribbling the soccer ball and lifting weights, and just doing stuff like that. I remember also playing racquetball, and just moving my body as much as I could every single day, just to keep mental maintenance up. And then around September, I believe, I found out about this thing called swing trading. And I was very intrigued by this. Well, actually, I found out about options trading first, which like after doing research about it, I figured out that it was something that people did make a living on, only through, and they were only working maybe at most 4 hours a day, and the kind of and just that kind of stuff, just that money and the numbers, and just the general process of how you do your work appealed to me a lot, because it was a lot of research, some calculation. I mean, like a lot of things like moving averages. You have programs that do that stuff for you. But after more research, I figured out that options trading was a hell of a lot more complicated than I first thought it to be. And then I found out about this thing called swing trading, which is pretty similar to day trading in a sense of what kind of stocks you're looking for, almost, in terms of like volatility. But the thing is, you're looking for swings. So instead of holding a position for maybe a couple minutes, you're holding positions for at least a day up to maybe a couple weeks. So yeah, day trading, I knew that I definitely didn't want to be a part of at all, because that's just super adrenaline filled, and it's just a lot of stress every day. Even though you're only working for a couple hours every day, you're still doing homework on the side, and the couple hours in which you're actually making trades, it's pretty damn stressful. And I just don't know if I would be able to keep it up on a long-term basis. But once I figured out what like how swing trading works from a high-level view, I realized that this is definitely for me, that this is something that I want to do. Problem is that at this point in my life, I accumulated a lot of debt, because I didn't like being around my parents. So a lot of the time I would eat out and go into debt that way. And I would also try out these business ventures, like what I'm talking about with options trading. So like when I first got into options trading, I bought like this program, which is pretty legitimate, optionalpha.com. But like I figured out too late that in order to actually make money off of it, you need at least, I would say, 20 grand of capital to begin with, because the issue with Option Alpha's trading strategy is that you need to make a lot of trades, and in order to make that number of trades, you need to have a lot of capital. So Option Alpha absolutely works. I mean, I looked at it and it all seemed to make sense, and other people online were raving about it, who from my perspective seemed pretty honest, pretty genuine. But after further research, I realized, you need a good capital base initially in order to actually make money off of their strategy. But through swing trading, you don't need to. I mean, you need a good capital base to make money solely. Like if you just want swing trading to be your only source of income, you need a I would say at least 20 to 50 grand of capital in your brokerage account if you want that to be your only source of income and to be able to survive off that comfortably. But swing trading is something that a lot of people can do while they're working a full-time job, because it's there's a bunch of different strategies. The strategy that I was working off of, that I was researching, was a site called thetraderisk.com, which I highly recommend. You can sign up for their free free email thing. I'm not sure about that. I think you can sign up for their free email newsletter. But yeah, their strategy is, I believe, at the end of the day, trading. So they make their trades at the end of the day to be placed the next day. And the issue with that is I haven't studied trading in a while. So actually I'm just gonna stop talking about that, because I think I might give some wrong information about that. But if you're interested on swing trading, a site that I highly recommend, thetradeRisk.com. They have a bunch of videos on YouTube. The guy's his name is Evan, and he's really cool. He's super respondent to any questions that you have through his personal email, and it's just a really great place to start if you want to get into trading, you don't know where to start, and it just seems like this behemoth of a thing to get into. But just as a side note, long-term investing is the most simplest, and it's the most simple, and it is the most effective form of trading. You will absolutely make a large amount of money if you place your money into a diverse set of accounts like Facebook, Amazon, just stuff that you know about, and that you have a good understanding of, and you can just through your gut understand that this is going to be around for quite a while. You know, I mean, from trade to trade, it's not a good idea to make trades off your gut. You know, you want to use your mind. You want to have a plan in place that's based on pure logic, and you want to stick to that every single time, so that even when you lose money overall, say like over a scope of 6 months to a year, you end up gaining a profit. Because if the problem a lot of people have with trading is that they won't stick to their plan, and that and because like they'll have 6 losses in a row or something like that, they'll just they'll do something different and go off their gut and end up just emptying their entire account. And it's like, dude, your plan was it was simple, it was robust, it worked. You just weren't patient. Like just try it out. Just test it out. Do some back testing for a year or two through paper trading. Scale down how much money you're placing in your trades for a year or two. You know, ease yourself into it. Don't just throw all your money in and just hoping that you get rich quick. That's just not a good way to do things. You know, like faith, patience in yourself is you get high returns from that. You know, you get character. So yeah, in September of 2018, I got into options trading. Then I learned about swing trading soon after. And then in December 2018, a buddy of mine contacted me who went through the Reviture program. It's a boot camp for programmers where they accept people who have a bachelor's degree in literally anything, and as long as you don't have some kind of criminal record, they'll take you in, even if you have something like a history major, something like that. They'll totally accept you, and their interview process is really freaking easy. They give you a study guide. Reviture is super easy to get into, though it is super difficult to deal with. So if I were you, unless you're a person who has a bachelor's degree in computer science, you're fresh out of college, you're going straight to Reviture. Unless you're that person, I would take a good amount of time, maybe 4 to 12 months of just learning programming online, something basic like Java, because Java is pretty common in a lot of Reviture's programs. Just take like a class from udemy.com or something like that, and get a good foundation in Java. That will help you a lot, because if you go into Reviture just with just no knowledge at all, I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult for you, and there's a very good chance that you won't be able to deal with it, that the pressure just the pressure is just going to be too much and you're going to break. So I mean, just take the time. Don't go straight into Revature. You know, learn on your own. See at first if this is something that you even want to do. You know, like if you take 4 months to learning something like Java and halfway through you're like, you know, this sucks, then Revature is not something that you want to do at all, you know? So yeah, so I joined Revature. Yeah, my buddy contacted me about Revature in December 2018. I joined I got an interview with Revature around New Year's, and then I joined their program in Reston, Virginia, at around the very end of January. And this is me talking right now at the end of their program, a couple weeks after I graduated from their boot camp. It was without a doubt one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but super rewarding because this is something that I really want to do, you know, that I've always wanted to do. Programming, I just always really wanted to learn it. It's not something that I really want to be doing for the rest of my life, but you know, when you go into Revature, you graduate from their program, you get a client, you sign on for their 2-year contract, because that's the cost that you have to pay when you take on this free learning and free housing through Revature. Excuse me. 2 years, but I mean 2 years, it's nothing, especially if you're straight out of college. 2 years is nothing. It goes by like that, man. It really does. So yeah, I completed Revature training. My last video it goes into more detail about how Revature went. This is just a recap video since my Lion Bridge video. And well, I got selected by a client. The client is called UST Global. I think I said UST Global. That's the client that I got signed on with. I may be working for another client through them because UST Global is a tech consultant company. So I'm not sure yet if I'm working for them in-house or if I'm working for a client for them yet. They haven't decided yet of where they're going to place me. But I was selected. I went through the interview process, and I'm all set. It's just about waiting to see where they decide to send me and at what point. So that's it for me. I mean, it's 2019 right now. Well, it's April. I forget. It's around the middle of April. The odds of April. I'm pretty excited about how my life is going. I mean, these past couple years have just been dismal. Working with that job straight out of college for a year from 2015 to 2016 really sucked. I hated my job. It was just so much paperwork. It wasn't at all what they sold it to me as. And then moving back in with my parents, who, I mean, I never got along with, and because mainly they just never got along with each other. You know, in my eyes, they're still children that have refused to grow up. But I'm not about judging people. I'm just about doing the best that I can and making my life the best that I think it can be. And that's my limit, always. So, have a good day. Peace.